morning, and we are the week of Christmas. Drive safe, Dave. Are you getting a little excited?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a Christmas excitement about me at the house, and I've got it. It's at the house. It's at the house today.
Do you have your Christmas stocking on today? It looked like your hair got a little like you had I don't know, you had a hat on.
No, I didn't.
Just
have
wind blown.
What
about it? It is. Let me tell you something. It's cold outside today. That cold, and that rain, that coming down. It's pretty daggum miserable here in Texas. I'm just gonna say right now, it's freaking cold.
Well, we needed.
I can't imagine it being any colder anywhere else in America right now.
And it's only like 40 degrees outside, and this is
like 44. Yeah. It's not that cold.
It has a wind chill of at least 39, though. I mean, that rain is cold. I know you don't spend much time outside, but when I was out doing yard checks and walking around today, it was freaking cold out.
Dude, you don't even know what it's like outside the yard. You haven't been out there in years.
Whatever. All right, drive safe, Dave. We've been learning a lot about trains. So thankful for your shirts and for your creativity. And Dave, here you have another one where trains may exceed 80 miles per hour. Okay, does that happen anywhere in the States?
Yes.
They go greater than 80 miles an hour?
They absolutely do.
Where?
And there's a lot of them, express trains all over the country that travel at high rate of speed. Some of them as much as 100 miles an hour. Now, if they exceed 150 miles an hour, I believe.
That's another sign, right?
No. If they exceed 150, I believe it has to be enclosed and gated, and it can't be accessible to normal traffic because of the high rate of speed. And I know that bullet trains all across the world also.
Hold on, we're talking about the United States. So
yeah, go ahead.
So show me some of that. I'm just curious. That's an awfully fast-moving train there, producer.
Also, if we're going off of United States regulations, trains carrying freight are only allowed to travel at speeds of up to 70 or 80 miles per hour. But unloaded trains generally only travel about 40 to 50 miles per hour, whereas there are trains that are designed to carry 70 tons that can travel up to 106.5 miles per hour.
Time out. No,
time out right now.
Time out a second. Did you look at commuter trains, sir, at all? Did you look at commuter trains?
I'm just saying freight trains.
I'm going with producer on this because this is a freight show. It's a freight show. We're not talking about how fast cars go.
This is a safety show.
We're not talking about how fast
Okay, so we don't want cars to be safe. Just guys with carrying freight.
We're talking about trains. And again, so producer, find me that where here in the States we have humans being hauled around at 150 miles an hour in these bullet trains that we have across America.
All right. Express trains. Go ahead. You can Google this.
No, I know we have express trains in America. I wasn't arguing that point. I'm saying freight trains are allowed to go up to 70
Does it say freight trains? Does it say? Wait a minute. Let's read the sign closely so that no one's confused.
We're going to lose Drive Safe Dave. We're going to lose him. He's starting to hemorrhage over here.
Look, the reason this sign is important, shall I tell you why this sign is important?
Yeah. Tell me, Drive Safe Dave.
Because when trains travel in excess of 80 miles an hour, we lose genuine perspective of their ability to travel. I mean, of their closing distances. Of their closing distances and speeds. It's hard to judge when they're running. If your train is running about 80 miles an hour, it's running at about 130 feet per second, which almost a football field in 2 seconds. And you know what? It's over a quarter mile, almost a mile and a half in under a minute. So you got to be careful because they will close the gap. In fact, it's hard to judge out there in distance. And if it takes you 15 seconds to cross the track, how far away does that train have to be? Does anybody have any idea if it's traveling at above 80 miles an hour?
30 seconds away.
What? If it takes... Oh, okay. Has to be almost 2 miles away.
Okay.
So, and it's hard to see 2 miles away. I'm just telling you, at high rates of speed, you got to be genuinely careful. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm just saying he's pointing.
I don't know. I mean, I just think right now you're on the aggressive side, and producer and I are just going to go along with anything you say right now.
I will tell you,
you're pretty aggressive, especially during Christmas week. Hey, Drive Safe Day, we want you to relax for a second. we did have a Cowboy victory yesterday.
We did.
For those in the Cowboy Nation, which is probably all of you.
America's team.
Big win, America's team, and we play again, I think, next Sunday against the Cardinals. And the Cowboys can clinch their division with a loss, I believe, tomorrow with Washington. You know, we got football games during the week this week.
We do.
COVID, Omicron, or whatever that is.
We got Monday, Tuesday. We got games all the week.
Is that Omicron causing that, or just COVID?
Delta variant, sir.
Still the Delta.
That is the major variant in the United States, creating havoc across the country. It's
creating havoc definitely across the football and sports again. We're seeing, you know, basketball teams, games getting canceled on football, getting pushed off till Monday and Tuesday this week here. And Drive Safe Dave, I know President Biden's also going to speak tomorrow, really, though, on the Omicron variant and what it's doing here. And, you know, we've seen an uptick, I think 26% in COVID cases over the last few weeks. We've seen a 3% surge last week alone in the hospitalization. But Les, I think it's like 3% of that is considered the Omicron variant. So it's not like the Omicron's causing it yet. Just a lot of concern, I'm assuming, Drive Safe, as my Washington insider.
Well, you know, there's almost 150,000 COVID cases reported every single day right now, which is a huge upswing across the country. And a certain percentage of those are hospitalized, and a certain percentage of those end in fatalities. So, yes, a genuine concern. I think over 1,000 people a day are still dying out there because of COVID.
Gotcha. So, again, a reminder, you know, wash the hands, keep clean. We want to continue to remind. I think, you know, as that's gone on, we don't talk about it as much. I mean, that was every day for a year. And even us here on the show, we don't talk about it as much, right? Wash your hands and you know, be an example to others. And when you're around people, especially outside of your bubble, you know, do what you can to make sure that you're wearing your mask. Drive Safe Dave. Hey, talk to us, you know, personally about how important wearing the mask is, especially around the office, is just to say you.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, I have a hard time with the mask, but you know, an OSHA and or approved mask is what they want you to wear, much like this, that helps you to filter. So these types of masks here are the best design, and some others that are used are not pretty much guaranteed by not only society, but by medical professionals alone. So it's almost of no value whatsoever to use anything other than these types of masks.
All right, so he's mad right now because I'm wearing this, and you know, I wear my mask all the time. You
but it does no good whatsoever.
Does good. It does better than not wearing it at all.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
Would
sir.
you agree with that?
I don't know that. It hasn't yet been proven. Has that been proven? Has it been proven?
Drive Safe Dave, I mean, we won't get into continuing break, you know, policies. This is allowed in our office.
I get it. I know why it is.
I wear
okay,
it.
I get you.
I try to follow. I follow the rules.
It's not what scientifically has been proven. We don't want to do that. We want to go with what feels good. But go ahead,
I don't know
sir.
what you're talking about, sir. I do not say. So hey, you know, so chaos. We're coming into the holiday season.
Absolutely.
A lot of chaos going around. You know, and that chaos, it's real. You know, you know, for many of us, it makes you forget to look around your surroundings, to slow down, to put your mask on,
Absolutely.
Whatever that is. And we had a fuel stop. You know, we can talk about that in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
We had a fatality I think it was over the weekend or Friday, at a truck stop in which, you know, I don't know if it was another truck driver yet, but it was another driver going to get fuel, hit somebody. They, I guess, fall to the ground, blood coming out, they die.
Yep.
And Drive Safe Dave, I'm sure it was another truck driver. You would think so in the fuel island. Was at a Love's Fuel Island station.
Yes.
So it's just, you know, for a minute here, and again, I know you've come from that environment where you spent many years on that. How dangerous is it around those fuel islands?
I'm telling you, you're talking about large machines, and you know, we talk about a lot about out on the road, but you have to be aware of your surroundings in truck stops. We talk about it here. We've discussed it here, how dangerous they can be. You can slip and fall easily. You can step out between two vehicles and get hit. You can get run over. And I'll tell you, people drive too fast in truck stops right now. They're just not. And I can tell you, every driver out there knows what I'm talking about. people driving way too fast inside the truck stops. You know, there's no reason for it. It's not and I tell everyone, make sure that you can be seen when you walk around a truck stop. You know, you wear a reflective vest, Sir Rick, and I think that is a great idea, in a reflective face shield. But I think that's a great idea. Any bright colors, anything that helps you to be seen at night if you're going to be walking around the truck stop. But really, your best guard, your best preventive measure is your own personal awareness of what's going on around you. Never assume that the truck won't move. Never assume that it won't back up, and never assume that it's not moving faster than you expect.
Yes, and we talk about distractions while driving. I think that cell phone, being on that phone,
Absolutely.
walking through that aisle, that's just as dangerous, because
100%.
you're focused on that email, you're focused on maybe that text, on your next dispatch, whatever that is, and you're not looking at what's going on. You don't see somebody backing up, you don't see somebody going forward because your head's down. We see it when folks are walking out there, just in general. We see people running into signs. We've shown commercials of that. People falling downstairs, running into signs, running into doorways, all of these things, because you're focused at what's on that cell phone, and that becomes a major distraction, not only when you're driving, but when you're stopped, when you're out there with other trucks, and including that fuel. You've got to stay focused on what you've seen. I know you all know this, right? I know you've been part of it. You see it, you live in that. Many of you probably have came close to hitting somebody, or have been close to getting hit yourself. These dangers, these cell phones, these distractions, we've got to learn to set them aside when you're in these high traffic areas. It's not like you're walking around a track.
No, it's not. And you know, one of the craziest things, a lot, or I would say a huge proportion of our accidents occur in these high traffic areas, backing or in these areas where all these trucks are congested. But not only is it your personal responsibility when you're walking around, but if you're driving around the truck stop and you're moving around the truck stop, be very careful too of people walking and not paying attention. You can't be distracted when you're behind the wheel in a truck stop. You cannot be looking at your phone or messing with your ELD or you need to stay focused. Save it for when you stop. Save it for when you're not moving anymore. Remember, you've got to pay attention to what's going on. 5 or 10 miles an hour can kill. So you've got to be patient. You've got to understand. Just take your time. And when you do stop, that's when you need to check out your ELD. That's when you need to check out your phone. That's when you need to do those things that are distracting behind the wheel, because those truck stops have a lot of people in them. I mean, they have a lot of people in them, plus animals, and people can get hurt quickly.
Yes, and when you're around these things, we want to remember to start thinking about the situational awareness that you're around. And if you're driving or if you're walking across, you've got to realize where you are and what's going on. You know, it's no different, Dave, than what we've been talking about for, over a year now, and that's getting out and looking.
100%.
You know, it's the same thing when you're backing up to a dock, when you're at a truck stop and you're backing into that spot, you must get out and look. Don't assume that nobody's not back there. Don't assume that that you're going to make it through that. You're going to be able to back into that spot. Get out and look and make sure, and drive safe. Dave, I'm going to say this. When you come across a situation, okay, you got out and look, you did your part, and it's too tight. That spot that you see, it's the only one, but it's too tight. What do?
Move on.
You move on, and you're like, well, hold on, it's the lonely part. But when you say it's too tight, that means it's too tight. It means you can't fit.
That means you're telling yourself that it's absolutely unsafe to try to get into that spot. If you tell yourself it's too tight, by definition, that means you can't fit in it. If your pants are too tight, they don't come on, right? If it's your shirt's too tight, that means it doesn't come over your head. I mean, if it's too tight, you can't fit. And if you can't fit, you're going to hit something.
So you move on, you move on, you move on. You make that decision to move on because it's too tight. And too many times, Drive Safe Dave, we've seen it for years that we get a report, we backed into something, and I got out and looked, and it was tight. And the question remains is that, well, if it was too tight, why would you try it? Why not just move on? Because you're saying, I'm willing to back into something. I'm willing to cause damage to another vehicle, possibly hurt somebody. Yep. I'm willing to damage my vehicle. my trailer to knock over a pole, to knock over a, whatever, that back into the fence. And why would you intentionally do that? Why would you ever intentionally back into something if it's too tight? And that's where you've got to get, it requires action. If it just seems that you're not going to do it, if you know that you may back in something, then you've got to get help, right? You don't do it on your own. Maybe you just go knock on that door and see if you can get that person out. And you say, well, I don't want to wake him up. Well, guess what? When you back into him, you're going to wake him or her up anyway.
When you hit the vehicle.
Yeah, so don't do it. I mean, get help, ask for help, see if somebody's there. If you were out there driving and you're at a truck stop, Dave, we talk about that too. Well, get out and look. Get out and help somebody.
Absolutely.
Help somebody back into that spot.
Don't be a part of it. Don't watch the show. I mean,
so many people do that.
Yeah, and then you hear it on the CB. You hear people making fun of or joking around, and what really needs to happen is you need to be the person. I rarely ever hear anybody making fun of the person that goes out and helps. You know what? Usually it quiets everybody because somebody has stepped up and gone out and helped. So, I mean, I rarely ever hear that on the CB, but I'll tell you, it's a good thing to go out and always be a blessing to somebody else. Yeah, what do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, we got Donna Kaysen on the line. What do you got for us, Donna?
Good morning, Donna.
Good morning. I'm sitting over here in Ocala, Florida, and I parked up in a spot, and I just was not comfortable. So I paid for a parking spot to where I felt more safer where I was at. And I was just sitting here having some dinner, and I heard this loudest commotion. This other driver backed into another driver who was carrying a $250,000 generator on his back. And that's going to cost a lot of money. And, so you got to take in consideration where you're going to park, what position you're going to park, and to try to be safe. I laid down last night, and a Hirschspa I didn't know, but was trying to back beside me, and another driver happened to notice and just laid on that horn. I come flying out of that sleeper just in time to watch that driver just almost clip my truck.
Yeah.
So, I was just like thinking, oh, it's going to be a long night, worrying about if somebody's going to back into me. But yeah, a $250,000 generator, and he hit that sucker hard. And it was a straight back. It wasn't angled or anything. He had a straight shot back. So it's so important to get out and look. Can you imagine what that would cost? That's going to cost that company of that driver. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But, you got to take in so many considerations, not just if it's too tight, where you're going to park so hopefully you don't get hit. And it's very dangerous in the fuel island and walking through the truck stop, plain and simple. Don't necessarily have to be the fuel island. It's dangerous in here. So y'all have a blessed day. That's all I had. Thank you,
Donna. Appreciate that. And drive safe, Dave. It's it's not just but it's the downtime as well, right? The downtime, the all the work that goes behind that. And that now means that a dispatcher, instead of doing what the dispatchers normally does, has got to take time, maybe do an accident report, call it into insurance. You've got to call the safety people, got to get involved. We got to find a shop. Think about all the work that's happened from that. And there's so many other ways to use that money better to make life better for all of us, especially in this industry. We want to continue to, so many companies, they're trying to find different ways to make better packages out there for them drivers to get better pay packages, insurance packages, all these things. And when we do these things, when we create these extra costs, right? And these are major costs that no insurance, that's not what insurance is for. That's what getting out and looking, and that's what action's for. We've got to make sure we're preventing those things so the company that you're working at can make more money. Salud, drive safe, Dave. We'll be back to you in about 60 seconds with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey, everybody. It's Drive Safe Dave here with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
As you know, winter is upon us, and with winter comes some difficulties and challenges. Now, if you live below or running below that 20 or I-10 corridor, you may not feel that pressure, but if you do, let's talk about a few little tips that we have. Tip number one, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks. Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure, because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number two, remember when air temperature drops, so does pressure in these tires. You want to make sure that when you enter into or near cold temperatures, you make sure that your tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number three, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number four, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number five, I'm going to give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
And welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave. We saw the report over in California in which the Health Industry Distributors Association, you know, one thing I've learned from all these backups in the canal, that there's an association. I'm not in the canal, but group. In the ports, there's a group for everything.
There's a group.
I mean, you got the retailers, you got the health folks, you got the Halloween Association, you have the Christmas Association. You have every association out there that's just complaining and complaining, and legitimately so, about the backups at the port. But I've seen there's more associations out there than I think we would have ever known. The National Lumber Association.
They've come to life.
Yes. And my God, and they're just pointing fingers, and here it is again. But the healthcare is saying, you know what? We have between 8 to 12,000 containers sitting out there of medical material that we need.
Yeah, medical supplies. Also for the what's going on across the country, we still have a very real crisis in COVID, and a lot of these medical supplies are much needed. And everything from garments to equipment used to help facilitate people that are sick. And you know what? It's just going to continue to be needed. And I guess it's backed up. They said some of it for what?
37 days is the average on the backup out there in the water. But, you know, 37 turns into 45, and then all of a sudden it turns into what we saw for Halloween, where it was November, the middle of the end of November, when this product of Halloween goods that were supposed to be here late September, early October started getting unloaded.
Yeah,
sitting out there in the ports for that long. And I know they're working on, right? They have ways to go out there and prioritize what's what. You know, this is more critical than this. I don't know if it's been perfected yet, or I don't know if is that a practice that happens when they're unloading the containers. If it's full of medical, do they set that aside? Do they expedite that out first? And if they do, you know, and I think I read the article. There sounds like they do some of that, but when you do that, you're also you're creating longer delays, right? You take a little bit longer to unload that ship. You now got to, hey, bring that chassis up. We're going to throw this box on the chassis. Now this is medical supplies. You think about all of the delays that happen when you start trying to pick and choose. That takes a lot of time and really goes against any kind of efficiency.
Yeah, you know, you sit here and you think about it, and people don't really truly realize, I mean, a lot of these medical companies and medical hospitals and stuff, they plan out. So imagine going to your Amazon account and ordering something, and it say, okay, 40 days from now is when you plan on getting it. I mean, that would be kind of weird. And it's the same type concept. They're having a hard time getting what they need right away. And just because 37 days is the delay to get to the distributor, that doesn't have any means of how long it takes to get to the end user and to the hospital or to the medical profession itself. So we don't genuinely know. Imagine your children showing up on Thanksgiving, and then you open up the packages of all of their Halloween costumes. I mean, it's just, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it becomes more and more critical. We continue to see this industry, this this whole supply chain. It really is. It is what it is, right? I mean, we see it right now. We see our volume today at 14,335 shipments. So volume staying very strong. We look at it and we say, well, let's kind of look what it looked like compared to just last year. We're just going to only bring up last year because that's all that really matters anymore, right? Let's just see if we can get it going here. Boom. Here we go. So we look at last year, and our volume today is about as consistent as it was last year at 14,300. We want to go ahead and look out a year. Okay, if we remember last year, here's where we were at 14,335 before the holiday hit, and we went down, dipped down to that 10,000 mark. So we would expect to see probably the same thing. Here's where we ended up last year, and then the freight came back up the month of February. You can see it's hovering around that 13,000 mark right there all the way until March, and when it peaked up, and we are where we are today from March on. So volume's very heavy. We look at those rejections as well. Freight being rejected right now, it is still out there. It's at 20%. We're going to see it probably move closer to that 23% before the end of the year. We're at 20.95, so almost 21% right now. Again, if we go back and we say, well, what does that compare to last year? See if we can get it here. Here we go. Last year we were at 25.35% up here, and you can see years past 14%, 11%. You know, as we get to this week, and we spoke about this last week, this week right here, this is the week that we really start seeing the rejections happen because the independent contractors are going home, right? The independent contractor, the company drivers, they're going to try to get back home. And you know, while we don't want anybody, people will start getting sick during this week. Trucks get sick. I got to take my truck to the shop, especially around Wednesday. With the holiday on Saturday, you're going to see more sick trucks come Wednesday. Yeah. You're going to see more company drivers saying, hey, my truck needs a PM. Yeah. I've got to get it in for a PM. So you're going to see a lot of that happening before the end of the week.
And then PU's not working.
Yes, I mean, this is the greatest vacation week between Christmas and New Year. Let's just face it. That's when and that's the right time to take vacation, especially for an independent contractor. I will say this year, though, you know, if you want to stay out, this is the year to stay out. We said that last year. We're going to say it again this year because the money's going to be there once again. Yep. So you want to make sure you're able to run. You're going to get miles. You're going to get guarantees. You're going to get capacity that you've never had before other than last year.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get promises.
A lot of freights out there still with the and when we see these rejections moving up, you know, and they're going to keep going up. Look at it. We went up to 21% already. We'll go up another couple, 3%. Volume will stay decent, especially for a holiday week. There's still a lot of freight out there that, let's face it, has never made it in. Yeah. It's still got to have to get delivered. This is going to really cause some backups because, you know, the ships are still moving. You know, you think about a ship out there at the sea coming from China. It's not like it's
turning around.
Yeah, it's a holiday. Let's just stop and celebrate. They're going to come on in. They're going to come on out to port, stay 150 miles outside so they don't count, you know, towards our count here in the States anymore, you know. We just stay out 150 miles. So it makes it look like our port count's getting better, which it's not. You know, so it's interesting to see, Dave, but, you know, we expect to see January and February to be kind of what it was last year, and that was heavier than it was in the years before. Again, if we go back and we just look and compare the volume last year during, you know, as opposed, you know, at the beginning of the year as opposed to the previous years, let's just look at that. Let's go back a few years and let's just compare this for a second. All right, so here we are last year. So we came in at that 12, 13,000. Let's just get exactly what that is so I don't have to guess. It's not going to tell me. Here you go. So we were at, 14. Yeah, we came in at about 13.7. So last year we came in January and February at about 13,700 shipments a week. Again, look right here. Look at the years past. We're down here, Dave, at 10,000 again. Starting off at 10,900 shipments. We started off last year significantly more freight, and we just stayed way above it. So we're going to see the same volume this year. Just get ready. Get ready. Make sure your trucks are ready. We continue to see a lot of, we continue to see delays in the new trucks coming out as well, right?
Absolutely.
So those delays are gone. Again, if you have a truck, this country needs you. You make sure you're taking care of it. Get it maintained. Make sure you're ready to go. Drive safe, Dave. Let's talk a little phrase at pace.
All right.
You got to sing it.
Do I have to sing it?
This one you do.
All right. The weather outside is frightful. Slowing down would be delightful.
There you go. One more time.
The weather outside is frightful. Slowing down would be delightful.
All right. Drive safe. Tell us what that means.
So when you incur inclement weather, when you incur those hazardous situations, do yourself a favor. Slow down. Make yourself happy inside here by slowing down and going a little bit slower in those hazardous situations so you can get there safely.
You heard it first here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to another Christmas week, right? Week before Christmas. Folks, buckle up, Bob, and you are tuning into the safest station in the nation, BCB Live. We're going to start off with a little bit of traffic, and I'm kind of expecting this week to be really good because, a lot of people are already shutting down, I think, or left. So we're going to kind of see if that affects the traffic. Maybe not today. We'll see. But again, looks like the DFW area has some issues. 45 coming up inside the loop right here at the merge point, northbound lane. We've got some really dark maroon there, so probably an accident. And then again, we are also affecting the east or westbound lane on 20 right there at that merge point as well. The west side here on the loop also has some issues running north and south by Irving. Fort Worth, you all look great this morning. A little bit of problem up here at the construction site, that go around Richland Hills there, and going eastbound there on 820. You could run into some problems right there. Usually just looks like rush hour traffic, if you will. And, of course, the downtown 35W running down at these merge points, 121 running northeast there. Always a problem there as they converge from all different directions. So DFW, going to have to be a little bit of patient this morning as you come into the area for rush hour traffic. As we go to Houston, wow, Houston looks really good. Just not much going on. 45's clear. The loops look great. A little bit of downtown area traffic, but all in all, not bad at all. 69 from the west looks good. 10 looks good. The turnpike or the tollways all look good. A little bit of a slowdown here, maybe 5-10 minutes in Jacinto, or is that Jacinto? Jacinto City, right there northwest or northeast of Houston a little bit on the eastern side. So, but Houston, y'all look great this morning. Kansas City, great also. Just not much going on. We always kind of say that every day, don't we? I don't know what they do in Kansas City that they don't do in other major cities, but again, great job there in the Kansas City area. Be patient, slow down, and looks like everybody's going to have a nice commute this morning in the Kansas City area. Whoa. Chicago looks phenomenal. Even the downtown area looks great. The Maywood, Elmwood Park, Park Ridge, Brookfield, all of you look great this morning as you come into the D.C. area. The loops are phenomenal. 55 is a little bit on the northbound side between Shorewood and Plainfield. 90 looks great up north. 88 looks good coming from the west. 80 also looks good. The connection 80-90 across Indiana, Illinois looks also phenomenal. So again, Chicago, great start to this morning. This is the best I think I've ever seen the Chicago map. Great job. Whoa, Atlanta. Well, I told you, Christmas week, right? Dallas was the only one that bucked the system so far. Atlanta looks great. Just a little bit, a 10 to 15 minute slowdown on the eastbound direction on the west side of the loop as you approach the merge of the 285 loop. And again, we always have a little bit of a problem up at Sandy Springs area. That's still there, but again, it's not as big. It's not encompassing the loop. 85 looks good. 20 coming from the east looks good on the westbound side. Everything looks good in Atlanta. Folks, enjoy your Monday commute in Atlanta. Terrific. Philadelphia looks like typical rush hour. A little bit on the light side, I'd say. Again, we always have some backups all the way to Conshohocken. And we've got that little area on the along the riverside, just northeast of Philadelphia, been a problem. It looks like the major problem is going to be in the northbound lane, if you will, coming out of Philadelphia. The rest of it looks good. New Jersey side looks great. Not much going on. And out to the west of Philadelphia also looks good. Nashville, wow, everybody looks good. I said that, right? 24 is always backed up down here by Smyrna, and that looks great. Just a few little stop and go areas. Looks like we got an issue that we normally don't have coming on the southbound lane of 24 just north of Nashville. So coming out of Kentucky there, I believe that is 24, you could have some pretty long delay as you approach the loop in Nashville. But otherwise, Nashville, you look great also this morning as far as the city itself goes. Baltimore looks great. Again, a little bit of a problem here on Lockern on the western side of Baltimore. It looks like about a 15-minute delay, but the loop looks good. Towson, Parkville, typical rush hour traffic. All the connecting highways look great coming down to D.C. area. D.C. looks great. Again, just a little bit of a problem up here at Silver Spring. That is going to be on the westbound side, if you will. And then a little bit on the eastbound side, just west of that. But all in all, it looks great coming in to the downtown D.C. area. So I guess all them politicians already went home for Christmas, right, producer? So looks great. Indianapolis looks good. A little bit of a slowdown here at Monrovia, and that is going to be on your eastbound side, if you will. And then again on the westbound side on the loop there, just a little bit of a 5-minute delay. Otherwise, Indianapolis, you look great. 70 looks good, 74, 65. The loop looks really good as you get out to the airport. So, again, looks like most of the cities other than the Dallas, I mean, Fort Worth and all the other cities look great this morning. If you're in those areas, folks, you should have minimum slowdowns, if any. Hey, we're going to go to our weather. And you know, again, it's going to be a pretty nice start off to the week the next couple of days. We're going to have some storms down here, and we're going to have some snow moving into the northwest. But all in all, if you look currently, it's raining in the Dallas area a little bit, which may be a reason why they're having some issues. And you can see this system. It's just along the Louisiana-Texas border and then down in New Orleans. Everybody else looks pretty good. Our northeast guys, if you're up there in Massachusetts, Connecticut, it looks great this morning. I know they had a little bit of a weather Friday and Saturday. And again, you can see a little bit of precipitation up there in the northeast. As we go to the rain, you can see this system. You got a little bit of snow showers up there. You can see this system down in the Gulf. And as we move out, 3 p.m. today, it moves up. So by tomorrow, you're going to start to see this. Looks like it's moving pretty quickly. 1 a.m., it's heading towards Florida. And at noon tomorrow, you can see it jumps in there and kind of passes through. So the Panhandle, Jacksonville, the northern part of Florida into southern Georgia and South Carolina, we could see some really strong potential thunderstorms tomorrow between, let's see here, I think it's 8 a.m. Yeah, about 7:30, 7 o'clock, all the way to noon. You could see some really strong storms. As you can see, the rest of the country looks pretty good. A little bit of snow showers up in the northeast. Not much going on there. But if we look at the new snow, here's what I want to kind of show you all, what that northeast is going to do. So here's the next 24 hours, right? You can see it concentrated here. Looks like we got 1 foot near Spokane. When we hit the 3 days, right, we go to 3.3 inches additional. And so again, you can see there. But then when we go to the next 5, so now we're talking about Christmas Day, right? It goes kaboom out there in the Northwest, all the way to Salt Lake City, Denver area, Reno, Medford, all of you in Montana, Idaho. You're all going to see, it looks like possibly a white Christmas, if you will. And you can see just in the northern, along the Canadian border, U.S. border, they're going to see some snow. And if we go to the 10 days, there you go as well. So again, looks like we're going to have a pretty good system coming in. Again, over 10 days, though, only 12 inches. So we're not talking about a lot of snowfall, just enough to make travel maybe a little hectic out there for the Christmas holidays. And then again, you see a small little band, some flurries coming through northern Ohio, through Indiana. Indianapolis could see some. And then again, St. Louis might see an inch or two as well. So, and as we go out to the northeast, you can see New York, a little over 4 inches. So you're also going to see some up here in the New Hampshire, Vermont area, 7 inches. So these are all forecasted, so it can change. Yes, sir.
We got Curtis Benedict on the line. What do you got for us, sir?
Yeah, Curtis. Good morning, buddy. Okay. No, I appreciate that, Curtis. Yeah, Columbus up there, that loop can be a little hectic. So on the east side, I think that's Reynoldsburg and all that. You're going to be ready. Maybe pull over, get a plan with your DMs out there, drivers, if you're coming in that area. But it looks like you're going to have to make some alternate route changes there as you come into the Columbus area from the east side. So again, it looks like there's a potential fatal accident. Our prayers go out to that family that nobody's hurt. That's really it for our weather. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with some safety.
Welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Buckle up, Bob. You talk about, a white Christmas up in that Pacific Northwest. It doesn't look like that's going to happen in Texas whatsoever. It's going to be like 80 degrees here.
Yes, it is.
That's my kind of Christmas, folks. That is my kind of Christmas.
Me too, believe it or not. They were talking about, it's actually going to be April, March weather on Christmas here versus
the pool will be open at the Dovers.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, hey, we do have some weather, and we're going to talk this week, and you heard it alluded to a little bit this morning. Drive Safe and Sir Rick talked a lot about the weather, right, and what's coming, and we're in that season, folks. For the next 2 to 3 months, depending where you're at, you are going to see some weather. We start to see the snow coming in, as we said. And so we're going to talk a little bit, what do you do? And I'm going to focus on the speeds. We always talk about slowing down in all conditions. And according to the FMCSA guidelines, right, in the rain, you are required to be safe, is to reduce your speed by 30%. So if the speed limit's 70, right, that's 21 miles per hour. So again, you've got to bring it down in that rain, heavy rain, just to be safe and give yourself those reaction times. We see, we heard just a minute ago of potential fatal accident in Columbus. We also had some issues in Dallas when all the other cities look good, and it's raining here in Dallas. So again, it's one of those things where when that rain comes, we've got to slow down and pack our patience when you're driving in the rain. Speaking of patience, we have a lot of great videos this morning that are about patience. This first one, is drivers. Again, folks, I can't stretch enough how dangerous 287 is. But there again, somebody's passing in a no passing zone. It was clear, but still, it just shows some of the illegal driving that goes on out there, and you've got to be ready for this. In this case, like I said, nobody was on the highway, but it's still illegal. Good job by this driver just kind of grabbing that for us. Here's where we go into the patience, folks. I mean, just a great job, right? You can see traffic sign and keep the distance. This driver keeps great distance, is able to stop. You got a guy in a blinker going to try to squeeze over, okay? But just a good job keeping that space, letting traffic go around them, staying in their lane. This is not the time to make a lane change. As you can see, everything's a lot of chaos going on. Just a terrific job with the patience. Here, again, you see it. And one of the things that stood out to me here, and I don't know, see if Drive Safe for anybody else, the drivers can get it. It's just a simple thing, but it creates a problem. But again, this driver did a phenomenal job recognizing the situation and is able to keep their spacing here. Drive Safe, did you see anything in this video that kind of also creates a little bit of a danger? It's very subtle.
I guess I'm missing it. I mean, we got a lot of traffic, we got a lot of intersections, and we got a lot going on. What do you got, Bob?
Producer. Go ahead, producer.
Is it the silver car in front not having their lights on?
Yeah, there's no lights on. Everybody's got their lights on, but the silver car comes up, and it just shows again the dangers of how hard when we make quick decisions. That's an easy one that could be missed. It's dark enough to where a lot of lights are on. Silver in this kind of area, right in the background too, is kind of hard to see. So I thought this driver did a great job keeping that space and allowing that, because you're right, the silver car had no lights on. The next one, again, intersections are dangerous. Look at this driver. I just love this. Knows they're not going. The turn lane is yellow, and that last vehicle ran it in red. So that black vehicle made that left turn in red, and then the driver creeps up here. Just a phenomenal job, I thought. We talk all the time. Drive Safe says that people from the right or the left, right, can't see other cars when the big rig's there. And look at it, staying back so everybody has a clear picture as they come into this busy intersection. Just a great job. Again, another intersection. And again, as we said, packing the patience. A lot of patience in these videos today. Here's one. Don't try to go around and squeeze up in there, right? Many would do that. Just stay here, be impatient. It's not safe to kind of inch your way out, and you're just going to be patient and wait for that left turn. Typically, these lights, the left turn's going to, and what I like about it is they're going to turn first anyway. They're going to get that arrow, and then you're going to be able to go up safely anyway. So great job.
Yeah, I would say definitely some patience being packed as we go into the holiday week. Phenomenal job, and we got to remember these things too, right? That, man, when this traffic comes, when it comes to the jam, we've got to make sure that we're allowing ourselves all of that space that we had in many of these videos to allow ourselves to stop, to slow down, so we can see that concrete. So we just, this time is just so dangerous, because there's so much going on. There's Christmas shopping, and kids are out of school now. There's chaos all over the place. We've got to make sure that we allow ourselves that ability to stop.
Yeah, a lot of times the weekends we see, the guard gets let down, and everybody thinks, we talk all the time here on BCB Live about safety is every day, 7 days a week. The show comes on at 7 days a week because safety doesn't rest on the weekends. And a lot of times that's when a lot of people let their guards down. So it was nice to see all these videos where the patience was there the entire weekend. Just a phenomenal job by drivers out there.
If we have any questions, comments out there, any Christmas wishes for your crew here at BCB Live, raise your hand, send an email, send a text, type it out. Many ways to communicate on this. I'll also say this is, don't forget that if you're on the LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn as well. Follow us on YouTube. So many ways to make sure that you're staying in touch with BCB Live, because we're here to make sure that we're giving you that information. Producer, help us out. What do you got?
Yeah, we got Carlton Jenkins. What do you got for us today?
CJ.
How about CJ? Is he out there?
Yeah, CJ,
Yes,
come
you
on.
are.
Come on, CJ.
Hello, come in.
Come
Welcome to BCB Live, my friend. I just wanted to add one thing to the winter. I might have missed it, but out there in the snow, you might want to carry an extra gallon of windshield washer fluid. Because if you can't see, you might get into a wreck. But no, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I was hoping and praying I could talk to Brian and Rick for Christmas. Maybe I can get some dry tires. After you put 250,000 miles on them Michelin dry tires, you reckon Santa Claus can get me a set of 8 for the rear back there? And, one more thing. If you can find time for Christmas, go to Dallas County Cowboy Church.com, I think it is, on Facebook. It's on Facebook. There was an awesome play about the 3 wise men and Bethlehem and Jesus yesterday. And I had a bunch more to say. Maybe y'all can have BJ call me in that cold weather. I got a cracked windshield. And I'm gonna get
you are a
sidetracked.
star. Don't
But
forget
anyway,
that, TJ. You're a star on BCB Live. We love hearing for you. We'll do what we can to get people on the phone with you. We appreciate that too. And with Christmas comes some great plays, some great. What is your favorite play, Drive Safe Dave, around Christmas time?
My favorite play around Christmas time.
You don't go see any at church or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess it's the baby Jesus, the birth
Not a
of
bad
Christ,
one, right?
the birth of Christ. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out the
There
story
are
of
more than
Mary
just
and
one
Mary and
story.
Joseph.
You realize that, right?
No, I get it. I'm just gonna say that's kind of a big winner on
I
Jesus'
was
birthday.
asking you what it was. It's really not his birthday.
Well, it's
Just
celebrated.
so you know.
It's celebrated, and
So you know.
just so.
right.
Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to mention
I'm all
again.
about the facts here.
Sir Rick
BCB.
is correct.
What?
I'm a factual kind of guy.
Well, so what? I don't
know.
even
This is
understand
getting
that. I don't
weird.
even get
Why do
that.
you keep saying what for?
I don't even.
Hey,
I don't,
somebody, if you're out there right now, if you're at the Loves, you're at a Pilot, you're at a Flying J right now, do me a favor, go inside and get my brother some Q-tips. He's having a hard time hearing today.
I just
We need to
don't
order
get-
Q-tips.
It's
We will get
confusion,
you a
sir.
receipt for that. Turn the receipt in, we'll get you reimbursed for that. Because on BCB Live, we got to make sure we hear hear what you're saying, and everybody. So Dave, take us to a prayer.
I will.
Close
So
out.
just so that we can, and even though you don't want to celebrate his birthday on the 25th, the rest of us out there in the world do. And I know that it may not necessarily be the actual day. It is when we celebrate.
I am not a worldly guy, if that's what you're asking. You're absolutely right.
Dear
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you've given us. And boy, I want to pray for my brother David over
I'm
here.
right here. Come on.
Be with him, Lord. Be with all of us. Help us get through this day. Help us get through this season. Help us be there for one another. We thank you for your son. We thank you for all that you do for us. Watch over these drivers as they're on the road. Keep them safe. Keep them alert. Make them better than they've ever been before. Give us that ability, all of us here, Lord, to make decisions, to make more money, and to know what to do with it. Give us that wisdom to be the best business men and women that we can be. Control what we can control. We ask all this in your son's name. Amen. Everybody stay safe out there. Don't be what Drive Safe Dave is. Follow
Safe.
along the lines of Sir Rick. This is BCB Live, safest station in the nation.